featuring
in college, I was in a sociology class, and I was talking amongst friends, and we were talking about like different groupings of animals, and somebody laughed about the fact that a group of polar bears is called a celebration. And I sort of laughingly quipped back, well, I bet it wouldn't be a celebration if you were a polar bear who didn't have translucent fur. Polar bears have actually not fur, they have hair, but it's translucent, it's not even white. It looks white because of the reflection off of the ice. But I said, what if you were the polar bear who had some weird adaptation where you didn't have translucent fur? It would be very hard to hunt. You probably would be rejected by your polar bear family and friends. And I laughingly said, so if you were a rainbow polar bear, it wouldn't be a celebration for you. And then I was like, we're gonna do the show and it's gonna be called a rainbow polar bear, and we're gonna actually talk about what it feels like to be different.
So tell me about the rainbow polar bear. Is the rainbow polar bear the same as everybody else?
No. The rainbow polar bear is being different because we sing, you're different from us, so different from us. You cause such a fuss being different from us. It's plain to see, no birds can be different from us and we. And she said that we learned that being different is good. That's how I see it, that I want to be a rainbow polar bear. Being different is good.
Sarah's costume was inspired actually from Cassie. She's an avid crocheter, and so she crocheted the hat, and I looked at the colors and I figured she always wears this pink hoodie. She's very attached to this pink hoodie, and it also went with the colors of the hat. So I didn't want to make anything that wasn't congruent with the colors, and it just fits her personality so much.
In putting together this particular show, we wanted the kids to learn about empathy. That was the real teaching point, if you will, was what it means to be an empathetic person, what it's like to see the world through someone else's eyes.
The way the music was put together, the songs all tell a story, you know, a sequence of understanding empathy as a whole, and them knowing all of the songs and singing all the songs so often, it really can help them connect to what empathy truly was and what it is.
And you sang a song about empathy, right?
Yeah, and being different, and rainbow polar bear, and how I wish that I could be a fish and just can't sleep tonight, and a quiet cricket, and feelings.
When I taught Sarah 2 years ago, she was echolalic. She was repeating a lot of phrases that we would say to her. We would ask her questions. We would get a lot of scripted language back. And just this morning, I was asking her about her latest show, now 2 years later, and she started to talk about the script, and she could describe who played what character, what their role was, what emotion they felt throughout the play, and how the play went.
I was so excited because I made the Rainbow Polar Bear song. Different doesn't come so easy. Easy wasn't meant for her. It's hard to blend when every friend has just one color fur.
Can't we use that?
It was clear to us that we noticed that each of the songs represented an issue that one of our kids might be having, or something that they may not be typical with compared to their peers. So, for example, in the Quiet Cricket song, it's about children who can't express their needs and wants.
When I first thought of the Quiet Cricket, I sort of envisioned a kid with similar things as Angel. So maybe he has a lot to say, but he doesn't quite know how to say it. And so when I brought him up the first time, I said, "You are going to sing this song." And I realized that he starts to say just the last word of the song. And I thought, that's powerful. That will be enough. And then as time went on, he started singing more and more of the songs until he can sing the whole song. And he knows what he's saying.
So it was a very remarkably wonderful collaborative experience. Everyone got on board, everybody helped. You'll see the teaching staff, they make themselves sort of invisible while doing a whole lot on stage to help the kids, and they made it run so smoothly.
Children with autism often have difficulty with sensory processing. This can show that their body is a little fidgety, they have trouble attending, and difficulty interacting with adults and peers in their environment.
And there were certain adaptations that needed to happen in order for all of the students to participate fully. So for example, all of the markings were lined up on the stage, so we had taped lines, we had dots that really helped the kids organize where their bodies were supposed to be during each song. It's really confusing when there's six different scenes and 5 different songs, and getting the kids to kind of move their way around the stage, and the kids learn that the yellow line was the back line and they stand there, or the purple dots are in the front for this specific child, and it really helped kids own where they belong on the stage and really understand where they're supposed to be.
My job was to help make sure that our children who were not necessarily on stage were able to keep a calm and quiet body, able to wait their turn, as well as manage outside auditory and visual overwhelming stimuli that might be present in the environment. And the way we did that was to have specific spots, chairs, and rooms for each child.
We did a lot of behind-the-scenes practice leading up to the show with articulation and pacing of the lines. Certain students also had visual supports for their speaking lines. So this, in some form, sometimes was just the words written on an index card to remind them what they needed to say. Some students needed the words spaced out to remind them to speak a little bit slowly. Other students had picture symbols. If they can't read, we used picture symbols to represent the words that they had to say for their speaking line. Also, some students that are not verbal were able to participate in speaking lines through the use of communication devices. And in this sense, all of the students were able to fully participate in the production, not just through singing and dancing, but also through telling the story of the rainbow polar bear.
One thing we do a lot is we perform for each other during the whole rehearsal process. So when an audience comes, they're not a stranger to doing what we're doing in front of other people.
Oh, no, it was not. He just came in.
I've been so tired again. I'm just a city guy. I'm just a city guy. Excited now. I know. I'm just a city guy. Let's have it tonight. Let's have it tonight. Like all the others do. Can tell you what I'm feeling and what I'm going through.
Sometimes really unexpected students just come up and choose any song that they wanted to sing. And what I learned really fast was that was incredibly powerful, because a lot of times students who on stage in a big group would get very lost, in that moment where it was just them sharing out a song, they were able to sing whole songs. Some of our students who we didn't know knew any of the words to any of the songs, or some of our students who only have maybe 20 or 25 words total were singing whole songs on their own. And it also gives the other students a time that they can clap for them and cheer for their friends, even for some of their quieter friends who might not get as much attention as other students.
How I wish that I can be.
I love it.
How I wish that I can be a fish.
So we were on a science trip to the aquarium in Coney Island, and we were walking around the aquarium, and we came upon one of the large fish tanks, and the entire class was lined up in front looking at all of the different fish and pointing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somebody starts, I don't remember who it was specifically, and the entire class starts singing How I Wish That I Could Be a Fish, which was the song that our class performed on stage.
How I wish that I could be a fish. I swimming in the ocean, you're diving in the deep end. I always in the ocean, 'cause fishes never sleep. How I wish that I could be a fish. How I wish that I could be a fish. Can we go somewhere?
They were so excited, they were so proud. The music has really stuck with them, even now.
It was a powerful experience overall, and luckily I work with an amazing team, Cheryl and Andrew both, each step of the way. When I would come up with sort of a crazy idea, I'm like, we're gonna have an act for every class, and every class is going to have a song, and we're gonna talk about these 5 ways that kids with autism feel different, and we're gonna express all of that somehow in a 45-minute show, and it's gonna be great. And they were like, sure, let's do it. So Rainbow Polar Bear was birthed and sort of developed into something of an amazing show. So we're not necessarily doing a musical review anymore. I guess we're doing a show that we wrote and that Andrew so lovingly wrote the songs for, and that Cheryl decorated and made a costume wonder, and that the kids can feel really proud of, and watching them, especially today, just is really good. I've not been emotional yet, but clearly I am very emotional about the show. Whew.
How's that?